Hey guys, this is Kiro speaking and welcome to the 4th episode of Dicky Speck riding the Pro Cyclist mode in PCM 2016. And today we just came off the crushing defeat of the first proper hilly stage, which was this one. And we came in 37th, as would be expected from a profile like this. But nevertheless, Dicky doesn't give up and he has a lot of time for training because there are no direct races coming up. These first 3 fictional Cyanide Cup races are just to try out the game mechanics for new players, I think. And now we have lots of time, so much time even that the next event isn't even on the calendar, that we can train up ourselves a little bit, gather a little bit more experience just from training, but also we need to check out what's coming up and properly get in the mindset for it. On the 10th of March the next race is coming up and this would be this one, so let's check it out. The first stage will be a short prologue, 5.2 kilometers individual time trial. Then we have a stage which really isn't for Speck, it seems. There is a hill up to the finish line. And... oh no. Okay, the third stage also is a hilly stage with a hill towards the finish line. And the 4th stage, this kind of looks like our terrain. A little bit of a hill where we can cheat with our rubber band technique, and then the final stretch towards the finish line is downhill. Downhill, that sounds juicy. So what do we have after that? We don't really care just yet, I would say, because this episode will be about the bad goings of the, what is it called, Istrian Trophy. And we cannot ride the tour in between because, as you remember, that was a back-to-back tour. It ends on the 20th of March and then the 21st is the next tour. And we don't want that. But now we see 10th of March is our goal for being reasonably fit. We gather a little bit of rhythm in this tour and then use it in that tour, which is much more to our liking. Just a quick look at it. Well, short prologue again, reasonably flat, reasonably flat, reasonably flat, 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 and there we are at the start again. So this definitely looks like something for Speck. I'm looking forward to that, but first we have to get there. So let's just advance time and... no, let's not do that. First we have to set our training plan. And we do want to get into shape at a reasonable pace. So we are at a decent shape here. Maybe we don't want to lose it all. And just continue on with 3, 4 and 4 there, so that we keep a kind of zigzagging freshness line here. And remember, before every race day there is a rest day. And also the next tour which we are riding is a very short prologue, and that is not hugely sacking down the riders, so they have very good recovery after a prologue. Even though in real life, if professional riders are riding a prologue, they have like 2 hours of warm-up before where they ride really hard. So it's not that easy of a day, but it still counts like a half day, which is reasonably realistic. Anyway, so let's get this rolling. We were just hit by a horrible message, and I'm deeply sorry to tell you that Speck is going to die. He has a red cross on his fitness, which means he is dying. Or maybe not quite. Let's see. Decrease in energy. That sounds like Monday morning to me. So, Speck, don't be a little bitch. Get training. Finally here, that took a while, and as you have seen, this little bar down here has climbed steadily, and being such low level as a newcomer to professional cycling, just training with a professional team gets you lots of experience. That will be significantly lowered once we're in the higher levels, then that becomes more and more irrelevant. But What this means is that after this week ticks over, independent of how well we are doing, we will get a level up to level 9 before the next tour, which we are preparing for. And we are doing pretty well, as you have seen in the sped up footage. I have made it such that we are topping out even. That wasn't really planned, but getting close to, and wow, okay, this is not good. Okay, I think we are ready to get going with the race. Alright, this is the prologue which we are going to ride. And as I see here, they have changed it quite a bit. That's interesting. That's the first one I ride in this new season of the Pro Cycling Manager, so, whoop, don't ride backwards, Vatschke. Ah, these noobs, they never understand that you have to go forwards as quickly as possible. It's riding at 177, 178. That's interesting to know, because that is what we have to aim at. About-ish, and it's always hard to tell, so you watch your teammates suffer through this before. Oh yes, and an uphill section right here I see. And he lost it all there and is slowing down horribly, which is costing him a lot of seconds. So this is individual time trial, which means there is a difference of like 1 minute, or if it's a prologue, probably 30 seconds between the riders starting. And this seems to be the number of how much longer you have to wait until you get starting. And if we check the profile here, we can see the incline right at the end, and it is very much not pronounced in this profile, but that is because the distance is so short and it's difficult to show. So what we are going to do now is speed forwards to Speck, and before that observe our teammates and how they are doing, at what heart rate they are racing, and try to emulate that once we are there. Not forgetting though that there is an incline at the end, and that you save, or that you get the best time from powering more in the incline than on the flat, and I will explain that a little later. And off Speck goes. Let's see. Now those extra stats of the +1 are actually helping us a bit. Not really the downhill, but prologue +2, which is all of this race. That is neat. So let's see what we can do with this. Where do I... Alright, I was really confused. You just have to click this button for the bar to appear, even though this was the only symbol that is in existence for this type of race, and it was already selected over here. So that was rather confusing. Anyway, so what we are probably going to do is to set it to something like 80 and then see what heart rate we are ending up at. This should be pretty quick, and we are probably ending up at too much of a heart rate from what it seems like. So let's set it to 70 instead. That seems more reasonable, but we are losing our resistance much faster. There was a little bit of an uphill too, so it's not too bad, but probably want to aim a little lower to recuperate this little bit. This blue bar is the distance to the goal, and this is how much power you have left, the yellow bar. So if it's completely flat and no wind, you would want to keep those exactly equal all the way through to the end. This is not the case here though, because there is a little bit of an incline there, and there was at the start too. Very weak though. Let's see how much wind we have. Very much non-existent. 5 kilometers an hour wind coming somewhere from the front a little bit. At these speeds you would feel 5 kilometers an hour too, but yeah, not that relevant. It's like when it's 40 or 50 kilometers an hour in your face, then you start worrying quite a bit. So what we want to do is to optimize this value such that we have quite a bit more energy left at the end than there is distance to go in this case, because there's this final little hill to climb. So we try to do that. 174, yeah, that's much better. This is too slow, Speck. He reacts very slowly. This was not good at all. So let's speed up again. 177. Now we have lots of power left there. Alright, this is better. Now it drops at an equal pace. And we are halfway done through the stage now. Let's see. Soon we are there. Let's watch the incline meter down in the lower left. There was a little shock. And now...
It's in such percentages that the strongest can create some gaps.
Now is the time to put him on something like 80 and just power through. You see how quickly it decreases now, and now we can even maybe up it to 85 and hope this just... his momentum carries him up the hill. That's the first time someone ever said that to him. Alright. Very good. That wasn't too shabby for a little sprinter guy, I think, who is really bad at time trial and prologue. Let's see where we place in comparison to other people regarding stats. Alright, I'll speed this up and we get to the results. And there we have the podium with these exact same animations and character models as last year. They never age. They never really age, which is good on them. So, results. Yes, let's take a look. 29th. Yeah, not too good, not too bad. I don't really care for this, as we are not aiming to go for a complete tour win or something. We may have a shot at the 4th stage, but definitely not for the overall rankings. Change of schedule, we don't need that right now, and instead we go right into the next race. Oh yeah, we are supposed to just take a breakaway and go with that. It seems like we again have a pretty good race day condition, even though the bar down there hasn't updated yet. So, oh, we got +1 hill. That is neat. And this stage does look very rugged. There's a lot of those little rolling hills down here, and that means that you want to be quite far in the front and just have a reasonable close to the limiter on yourself to do the rubber banding really quickly and not waste too much energy with the short stints uphill. And many of the others are doing exactly that, tiring them out quickly. And you just shouldn't be part of that. And maybe that gives us... No, it doesn't. If you look at the final, it definitely doesn't give us a final chance. This looks like a tiny Alpe d'Huez, actually. Alpe d'Huez is famous for the very first step in it, which has like 11% steepness, and then it flattens out to an overall average of 8.2% over... what is it, like 8 kilometers length or something crazy like this. No, this is not Alpe d'Huez. Speck is very happy about that fact, but it does look similar. Anyway, we are going to set off and just keep tucked into the peloton and don't really care about what the others are doing. So let me get rolling.
Some team managers mustn't appreciate the fact that there is a breakaway, given that the pack has increased its speed.
Indeed they have, and I'm just making sure that Speck doesn't die back here. Are they losing contact now? Everyone moved up as it's going uphill. I'm just trying to conserve as much energy as I can. Yes, he's still at the back. That should be good enough. Now don't let them get away too far. Everyone is riding really hard now. This is like playing with fire though. I really don't like to be in that situation where I have to handle such high loads back and just clinging on. Like a tiny mistake can make you lose the slipstream and just you end up being in the middle of nowhere, and without the slipstream you will get nowhere. Alright, they have slowed right down now, and that should seal the deal for the breakaway, which means that they get through towards the end, at least towards the final hill, and we can just cool down a bit. And it looks like we did a good job of conserving our energy. rode at a reasonably low heart rate, and didn't sacrifice too much of our yellow bar, as you can see for our team members. Some of them have gotten rid of quite a bit of it. So yeah, that was good riding, I think. Very risky though. I wouldn't recommend doing that, and I certainly would be a bit more careful the next time. It was really close in places. Alright, let's see what we got here. So we are about 1/3 into the stage. We have the only real hill coming up before the final uphill stretch, and this looks also very steep at the start, and then it's something like 7% it looks like. So not too bad, but we should definitely be placing up front, just to be sure. And the breakaway is 5 minutes 50 away, which is very much non-threatening considering that there's almost 100 kilometers left on the stage. And while we are positioning ourselves, I think I have to mention something really funny though about the music of the game. Or rather not this game, but a previous version of the game. Because Automation and Pro Cycling Manager, I think it was 2013, shared the same music. And if you remember from the first episode, I told you that the music in this game here is known to suck balls. Like really big balls, because they committed cardinal sins of having vocals in the game in very bad places, and yeah, in general just fucking it up. And now we are entering the hill, and we are reasonably up front. That should be good. So yeah, but not only did we share the same music before the proper soundtrack for Automation was composed, but also someone, a friend of a tester found, of Automation, found that this music was actually used in porn. So we always reference it as the porn soundtrack afterwards. And yes, whenever you were riding your riders in your riders in Pro Cycling Manager, you knew that it was actually porn music. Alright, we have almost made it to the top of the hill without any kind of damage taken. I'm happy to see that. And the rest should be very rubber bandy. So let's just keep in front, Speck. No, don't drop back. What are you doing? Alright, just keep there, right? You just stay there, and I speed up the game. Alright, looking good. Now they started riding really hard again, and I'm just dropping to the back like a stone. Or is that just because we are riding uphill? I don't know. No, 180 in heart rate of some of my teammates up front. That is some serious stuff. I don't really know. Whoa. Okay, now we're dropping too fast now. Let's put this up to 75 to stay on. Yes, we do. Okay, good. That may be too much even. Let's put it at 70, that should suffice. So there's a little bit of wavy terrain coming up here, mostly uphill, which doesn't make it easier for Speck. But we have saved lots of our resistance bar so far, and still have it full whenever we can take a minute and breathe or eat currywurst. And that should save us in the longer run. But I think it will be such that we will be reasonably tired once this buckling hill here is done, and in the final downhill section of this hill we will be able to position ourselves a little better in front of the peloton to then in the flat make sure that we get into the final stretch among the first riders. It seems like we didn't even really have to get to the front in the downhill. We already are. They kind of slowed down, and now we are in the only part of the stage which is really made for us, and it's soon over. As in a few seconds. The worst thing about downhills is that they end so damn quickly, especially if you're called Speck. So now we just need to make sure to really stay up front and hang on there, tuck in and have a little bit of good slipstream going for us. And if we do that, I think for this flat stretch our energy bar will not suffer too much, and then we are ready to not be horribly left behind in the final stretch uphill. But we'll see about that. Also, I will have to time my bacon bar just correctly to be having the effect on the final stretch. I think I will trigger it right before the incline, so that we will have a little bit more power or resistance during the ride up the rather difficult slope. It looks like reasonably fast driving, but still around 7%, so not really territory for the Speck. Alright, let's trigger the bacon and see how we can do for this first step into the hill. I think we will have to then just go for it flat out, like 80-85 up the whole hill, and just pray that the our bacon bar holds up and the yellow bar doesn't disappear, because that once it is disappeared, there is a significantly slowdown happening. So go for it, Mr. Speck. And are we climbing yet? No. 0.4, 0.5, 0.7. Now. Okay. Now comes the hill. Now we have to go on the effort cursor and just give him like 85 and let him do his thing. The bacon bar is not active yet, but it will be soon. And Speck will just try his very hardest to not completely disappear. But wow, look at how hard they are riding there. This is 85 from Speck. He's even losing a little bit of red bar, so hard is he riding. So yeah, placement not really gonna happen, but maybe we can go a little harder, like 87. That will sap a little bit more of the red bar too. We want at the finish line to have an empty red bar and an empty yellow bar if possible, because that means we have used our energy perfectly. Maybe we even have to use a little bit more. Let's try 89. We're already in the next group. Oh, and Speck is doing reasonably well. Maybe even a little bit more. Like 91? 1.3 kilometers left. That may be a little hard. Let's drop down to 88. I think the yellow bar won't last.
Who's going to be the first to the line today?
But is it flattening out a little bit? 5.5, yes. Oh no, we lost all the bars. And now it's going really slowly. Come on, accelerate. Specky. Sprint! Sprint! Oh, there's someone who had some energy left. We came in 13th place! that is really good. That is really good. I'm proud of you, Dickie. Very nice. Look at all those losers. I don't think they timed their bacon bar correctly. Alright, let's speed this up and get to the results. And there we have it. We lost 2 minutes on the leader, who has somewhat better hill stat and very good acceleration. He's a puncher. What? No. Sprinter? Okay, that means next race is up. And maybe if we catch a really good race day condition, we could even get into the top 10, it seems, if we use our energy wisely. Let's do that.